All these clones, we the original.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything to scare your children. That's the last thing we want to do. We don't want to scare anybody.
The tourists come over to chill on the beach, but they don't come over the hill where we sleep. We got nightmares and they got fantasies. No sanity, it's just insanity. My mommy hoping nothing happens to me.
All right. How we get started off? We in the same place, different angle. You know, we came up the casting couch, and we went back to the. What do you call these chairs? Oh, personal chairs. We about to get personal today, because I feel like we have like a goat in our presence, like a legend, bona fide legend. When I was telling my guys about this individual. I mean, y'all might recognize the face, or the face behind our face. But I was like, yo, this is a legend. And it only takes, they be like, how you know? I'm like, it takes a legend to know a legend,
All right. Wait, check your mic, bro.
Testing 1, 2?
Yeah, you good.
All right.
Yeah, we talking to Bruce Wayne right now.
So, welcome to another episode of Erryting Kool. This is Lord Jalen Willard, the Negus of Nassau, Saint and Tall Alexander. Am I shouting this time?
No, you good. You got a very sultry radio frequency right now.
All right.
That late night talk.
And, we have Mr. PG-13 in here.
That's right. In the building.
And then we have the shaman.
Yeah. I don't exist. Don't introduce me.
So we have Marco here, but most importantly, we have our special guest for the day. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. So happy to be on the show with you, gents. My name is Terez. Well, Lynn is my first name, but most people know me as Terez Davis-Nixon.
All right. The surprising part, I only learned your first name probably like 3 years ago.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
For me, it's very recently.
I was just like, oh, that's Terez.
Yeah.
But Miss Davis-Nixon. For those who don't know,
Right.
I'm
reveal your alter ego.
This is what Dynamite Daisy looks in plain clothes, not the superhero and the makeup.
All the cape's gone.
All the cape's gone. So we getting the person behind this illustrious character, and we about to dive in deep into my good friend. Actually, fun fact, I've known Miss Davis-Nixon.
Just call me Terez, buddy.
Okay. I've known Terez.
There you go.
For my entire life. Like, you and Shanika have been best friends forever, which is like, my cousin / aunt. Shout at her. So I've known her since like a child.
Yep.
And then, coming up in the 2000s, going to some of your plays. Mm-hmm. And then, we about to get into all that. But before we really get into the crux of everything, on every show, we have a little segment called the Bayman Word, Phrase, or Saying of the Day. And we're going to give that honor to you.
Right. That would be amazing for you to bring some real legendary, iconic Bahamian phrases and sayings.
What we might not know.
Right.
What? Oh, my goodness. I think y'all know most of the ones I know.
Right.
like Daisy loves the word kaponkalap. Y'all know.
Right. Yeah, well, we got that one already, though. Yes,
so y'all got that. So as we go on, if it comes to mind, I'll drop it on you.
Really?
Okay, so this is going to be the first round.
Floating.
A floating?
Yeah.
Floating.
All right.
Let me try to think. All
right.
Talk, man. Talk while I try to think.
So, how else? Should I give you that whole church introduction? Like, when they introduced in a guest pastor?
No, you don't have to do that. We just talking, right? We just talking.
Because, they be like, her grace.
No, don't bother with that.
All right.
That's all right. Let's go.
Yeah,
let's go
we
simple.
getting personal right here.
Yeah,
All
let's go
right.
simple.
So, we could always come back to it because we got a whole bunch of different revelations today.
Cool.
But like, take us into like, you know, how you got started into on the path where you went from, I guess, college, like early childhood to college years, to you starting your career, to you
Right.
getting into acting, and then your latest transition into being, you know, an author.
Right.
And would you say you were a philanthropist in a way?
Some people,
Motivational speaker?
yeah, a
so
little bit.
motivational speaker, all that stuff. And I've noticed the transition that you sort of started transitioning out of the Miss Daisy role, like probably the beginning of the 2010s into this.
I'll
new
tell you, when I
decade.
retired, I did retire for a short while.
Wow.
Oh,
I was retired for 2 years and 7 months. You believe that?
wow.
Yeah, from 2015, and then brought it back after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's start with early childhood. So
Wonderful.
what was your early, like, you know, inspirations and like what it was like coming up as Terez Davis?
All right. So, I was born the last child
Okay.
of my parents, and the only girl. So, my childhood times were very adventurous. I loved outside. I wanted to be inside, you know, helping and doing things, but it's like, you're too small, you know. Most people now, they wish people would tell them, you're too small, you can't wash the dishes, you know.
Right.
So I
Right.
used to be outside. I had a cat for 16 years, and I just loved playing outdoors. I loved rummaging through the bush with my cousin, you know, having my cutlass, thinking we, you know, going on adventures. I loved outside, and I still do. Still love the water, the beach, etc. So grew up, went to Kingsway Academy.
Oh, we went to the same school.
Yeah, Kingsway Academy. Was involved in little productions at church, Golden Gates Assembly at the time.
All right.
And that's where I got my feet wet with acting and writing. And I wrote my first play when I was 16.
Wow.
Yeah, but when I was in grade 9 at Kingsway, that's where it really opened up to me that, hey, I could really do something with this if I have the courage to do it. I was involved in a play called Joseph and His Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. It's Broadway.
Hold on. Joseph and this what?
Joseph and His Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Right.
Technicolor. I thought you said technical, advanced.
No, no,
that
no.
sounded like a real
Right.
word.
Yeah, you know
Technicolor.
about the story, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Plenty
No, but how
color.
she said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like,
They modernized it a
Yeah.
bit.
They did.
Yeah.
They
Okay,
did.
okay.
They did. And so, very famous play, production on Broadway, in Europe, all over the place. And people today still use it. And I was the narrator in that play, but I had to sing the whole thing. And that gave me an opportunity to just feel what goes into a production. Like, I love what you guys are doing. You know, you've changed this place into a studio, and I know what it is to be behind the scenes and see how things are. So that was my first touch of the performing arts like that. And that opened things up for me. But I didn't have the courage to say I want to pursue this because, you know, in the Bahamas, like I say in my book, we act for FUN, for fun, not for FUNDS, funds.
Right,
You see
right.
what I'm saying? And so, yeah. But after a while, going to COB, studying education, wanted to be a teacher for the wrong reason. We'll talk about that later. Wanted to be a teacher. And then still realizing this is not really what I want to do. But I knew I wanted to get into helping people through social work, through gospel ministry. And then I loved acting and I loved drama. So finally, I was convinced to go ahead and study at Morgan State University. And that's where I got a degree in acting or theater arts with a concentration in acting. And that's the nutshell of start to finish. Well, start to now.
yeah, because you just trimmed that down. Like, you just trimmed like 20, 25 years.
You
into,
better
like-
believe it.
All right.
After a few minutes.
Listen,
And y'all say we won't be concise, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to miss out no
Yeah,
details on,
okay.
on our account.
Okay.
so-
Right.
Okay.
Yes,
because I
ma'am.
was going to ask, so because you started writing at 16 and
Right.
by the end of that journey, well, that short journey to where you went to college to become, you know, you have a degree in acting.
Right.
Oh, right, and your concentration is in acting or in theater?
No, I have a degree in
In
theater
theater.
arts with a concentration in
All right.
acting. So
So,
we had to learn the whole gamut, you know, lights. We had to learn sound. We had to learn set design,
Yeah.
costuming, writing, all of that.
Yeah, during your journey of all of that, which one was the one you took particular joy in?
I took particular joy in acting, of course,
Right.
but directing also.
Okay.
that grabs me, and
Yes,
so
ma'am.
I love doing that now, and that's what I've had the opportunity to do for a while now. I've been directing as well as acting. I don't like to do the two though,
Right.
simultaneously.
At the same time,
Nah.
we don't want to be Medea and Tyler Perry.
You understand? And I've done that, but that's not.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I'm glad he mentioned that Medea and Tyler Perry comparison. We can get into that later.
Right.
So, but first, so I would assume that during these developmental years that you sort of started honing, playing around with different characters. So what made you say, I want to come back to the Bahamas? Well, first, let's say what made you want to come back to the Bahamas?
Well,
After that.
I didn't want to come back to the Bahamas
Yeah.
because
Right.
I was concerned, what am I going to do with this degree?
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people, they were asking me. Okay, you're going to study theater. What you going to do with that? Just teach? And I did not want to teach. I want to teach now. I want to teach theater now, and I've had the opportunity to teach, and I'm looking forward to teaching drama now. But I didn't want to teach, Justin. I wanted to perform. And so it was not my desire to come back because I knew that it was so, it was limited as to what I could do. So I got the permission to stay in the States for a year from the government, but I didn't get the internship that I wanted.
Sound like my story.
Oh, man. And so because of that, I came back home because my parents didn't want me to be a struggling actor in the States, you know, having to
Right.
do odd jobs and struggling. So they said, no, come home. So I came home in the hopes that, okay, I'll come home, I'll do this one-woman show. And then from there, I hope to go back. But I never went back. But God allowed a river to be made right here in the desert.
Let's just talk about a little bit about that one-woman show. Because
Yeah.
I feel like I know what came out of that.
Right.
So,
Right. So the one-woman show, I played 6 characters, and Kayla Lockett Edwards was the lady who produced that show for me.
okay.
So when I came home, I went to her. I said, you know, Miss Edwards, I called on the phone. I said, you know, I really want to do a one-woman show because I had just done it for my senior project. But of course, Miss Daisy was not a part of the one in the States. So Miss Daisy became a part of the one here. And I would say not by my design, because all I had was the ability to slur and the ability to speak like her. But I had no idea what she would look like or her personality or anything like that. And this was while I was in the States. So I was watching TV one day, just like I'm staring at you. And as I was watching TV, this guy was pretending to be intoxicated. And I was like, I can't feel him. He's not believable. He was slurring and swaying, but he didn't grab me as authentic.
Right.
So I said, you know what? One of these times, what if I had the opportunity to play as if I'm intoxicated? And that's when I decided to begin learning how to slur. Hiccup my words.
Right.
I feel like we in a master class and it's like
We are.
because it's like, you know, most people when they create a character, they never have no background with the background you have. You went to college to study this. So you don't understand it from a like more so like, you know, from a book level, understanding techniques and certain jargons, and, you know, so you could develop, like you developing a character, not really organically, but it's more strategic. So yeah.
One of the things that could piggyback on that, when I was going to school, I realized that I was going to get the skills and the understanding. So what happened is God had given me a raw talent, not Miss Daisy, but a talent for drama, a talent for acting, and a talent or an eye to see fine details. I'll give you an example. I produced a show in my late teens at my church, and the person who was acting as Jesus, I looked at his feet and I was like, no. Jesus' feet would have been dusty. So I thought about it. I said, I got to get powder. So we put powder on his feet to make it, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, to add the
that's
realism.
small, but
Right.
that's the way my mind thinks when it comes to stage, when it comes to film and producing. So I went away to school to get the skills and the understanding to put with the raw talent that God had given.
Right.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, 1 second. So how many minute details that went into Miss Daisy that maybe regular people who don't have the same eyes you wouldn't pick up?
Right.
But subconsciously it adds to the submersion of the character.
Okay, so you have details like Well, first of all, when I first started her, she didn't have all of that bodacious makeup.
Okay.
Okay. But I realized I wanted to take out her front teeth. So, well, I'll take mine out now. Just playing, right?
That would have been crazy.
Of course,
Yeah,
right?
I was like,
You'd have been like, right. So, black tooth enamel is what I use.
Oh, I always thought you used some type of marker or something like that.
No.
All right.
So that's I have professional makeup for her. So
Man, I learned it all. I was like, this is
Yeah.
like
All the
thing-
secrets of the trade.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. And this is what helps it to be consistent. This is what helps it not to make me sick. Because if I was using shoe polish, like some
Right.
people use, and all those kind of things, it could eventually make me ill.
Yeah.
But black tooth enamel is designed for just that. It's almost like a lady painting her nails, but you cannot put black fingernail polish in your mouth.
No.
So those of you watching at home, please get the real
Yes,
stuff.
she's
Black
not
tooth enamel.
advertising that
No,
for you.
no. So that's attention to detail. Another attention to detail is, of course, the makeup for Miss Daisy. How it's put on, the lashes, the eyebrows. One is higher than the next. The lip, one side is higher than the next. So that it makes it easier when I am speaking and slurring. It looks as if her lip is going higher when it may not be going as high
Right.
because I have it drawn already high. But I have it drawn high also because as Miss Daisy, she cannot do it.
Yeah, properly apply. Huh?
Right,
Yeah.
right. So those are some of the fine details. I try my best to keep the costume as authentically Daisy as possible. She likes colors. She likes bling. You know what I'm saying? You'll never see Daisy in a green stocking and a yellow stocking. She's not crazy. She's Daisy. You understand? She's not crazy.
Right.
She's Daisy.
She'll never put green and yellow together.
She may put green stockings on and a yellow dress, but she's not gonna put on a tennis shoe and a high heel shoe.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She's
yeah.
not crazy. She's Daisy.
Okay.
She's eccentric.
Yeah.
You got it.
All right.
So, when it comes to, have you ever tried, because, okay, we now find out that's how Miss Daisy was created. But what about those other characters?
Well, for the one-woman show,
Yeah.
2 of the characters, one of them was completely created by me. The next one was partially created by me. And the other 3 were characters from times past. For example, I played the character Juliet from the play Romeo and Juliet.
Okay.
I played the character, her name is Medea, but not Tyler Perry, from the Greek mythology play. So that is a character's name. And then I played Sojourner Truth, who is a character from the women's suffrage movement years and years ago, ex-slave and that type of thing. Now, the characters that I created, aside from Daisy, one of them, her name is Erica. She's a domestic violence survivor. And I got her from, I was a part of a play where they had 10 ladies who were all domestic violence case survivors.
For color girls?
No, it's similar to that.
Okay.
But similar. And each one of them had to walk to the front of the stage, and this was at Morgan, and they said, he hit me. The next lady said, he punched me in my head. The next lady said something else. So what I decided to do is I decided to put together all of those lines and make one character, and of course add my piece to it.
Right.
And then lastly, I play a character named is Casey, and she's a pregnant prostitute. And she has a story. People pass and say, girl, you so nasty, go home to your ma. And they passing her on the road, and her whole thing is, you don't know why I'm here.
Right.
You don't know what caused me to be here. So before you judge me, and before you tell me go home to my ma, let me show you what my life is all about. And then she goes into telling them what happened to her.
Right.
So those were the 6 characters. And Miss Daisy, like I said, was one of the characters that I didn't plan, but I needed a down-home character. I had the ability to slur, and so I said, okay, what do I do? Let me put some old clothes and a wig, and that's how she developed.
Right.
All right. So, I know you were saying when he going to get to this part. It's sort of a coincidence when your meteoric rise as Miss Daisy coincided with what's happening on the Chitlin circuit in the United States in the 2000s.
Okay.
with Mr. Tyler Perry. So I often, when describing what Miss Daisy was in the 2000s, I often compare it. I'm like, yo, you was like Tyler Perry for hair or whatever with the stage play. Same premise.
Right.
Same, you have a main
Yes.
female protagonist.
Yes.
And then, you sending out 8 stories is around, some Christian message about
Correct.
self-development.
Yeah,
coming-
feministic as well. Yeah.
Say again?
Like a feminism kind of standpoint as well.
Well, I would never say I didn't. If that's
You
what
weren't
came
thinking
across,
that,
no.
okay.
I was thinking
Yeah.
what he said in
Right.
terms of dealing with social issues,
Yeah.
dealing with faith, and how faith can help us with the social issues.
Yeah.
How faith can help us overcome the challenges of family, the challenges of crime, the challenges of health crises, that type of thing.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, when I could say and compare, I would say it's almost similar to that.
Yeah.
All
Oh, we good.
right. So
Our time running out.
no,
No, mom.
TikTok.
no, but I would say that was the comparison because I was like, you basically was doing almost the exact same thing, but in a whole like Bahamian version. I remember, I think the first play went to yours was when you was at the Dunners. This probably was like 02
Okay.
or whatever. I can't remember. And
I
then
started in 2000. You know that.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
So that
this
would
is-
have been Daisy's Kung Salad Christmas.
Wow.
So
That's Kung Salad Christmas.
so I remember.
Family, the whole family, right? Daisy's.
I can't remember which one it was. I
Okay.
just know as a child, right? It was like I saw all these grown people laughing, and I was like, I didn't get the jokes. Like, and then,
Yeah, Bahamian humor is very mature.
It is.
yeah. So it's like you can't, and then it's also sort of generational too, or what time you grew up in, you
Yeah.
can relate.
Yeah.
Because certain stuff we might joke about now as adults, people older than us would be like, "What?"
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
It's true.
So all my mommy then was like, "Oh, you ain't growing up to get it, whatever." So it's like I thinking, and now all I just to hear is, "Oh, Dynamite Daisy doing this, another Dynamite Daisy." Like it was a craze, bro, and
Yeah.
it was like a year after year after year after year. So
Yeah, I was too young during that time.
Too young?
Yeah, I'm 24.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
so like it was like and then you was doing was they always on Boxing Day or they was
Yeah.
throughout
Boxing Day has been for the last 20 years. That's our day.
the day? Okay.
We missed 1 year not doing Daisy. We did a stand-up comedy and we had Will Smith. Oh, not Will Smith, sorry, Will Stubbs.
Oh.
Will Stubbs. Edit. We had Will Stubbs from Freeport.
Okay.
And who else was on that ticket? Another 1 or 2 more local comedians.
Because I know y'all was doing shows in Freeport as well.
Yeah,
so
yeah. And Stephanie. Now you mentioned Shanique, but
Yeah.
Stephanie has been on
Yeah,
stage
yeah,
with
yeah.
me. Stephanie is the bomb. We have so much talent here.
Yeah.
We have talent, of course, what you guys are doing.
Uh-huh.
But we have talent on the stage, behind the scenes.
We-
I don't see why we don't have more of our own sitcoms. I don't see why we don't have more of our own, television shows.
Yeah.
We we don't lack the talent here.
I mean, I could answer that because I tap into the whole film industry and things like that. So, I mean, we have not just in a space or behind in front of us. We just have a lot of talent across these islands. Period.
Yeah.
But a lot of it goes underdeveloped because we haven't figured out a way how to
Monetize it.
monetize it. But first of all, fund it or think how we gonna develop it with
Yeah.
a small budget. And people always have these grandiose ideas,
Right.
But all you have to do is start small.
Yeah.
So like and we had these conversations before when we met, linked up when I moved back home a few years ago when you
Yeah.
had the whole seminar with Bassa.
Yes.
To where it's like, okay, everybody want to shoot these blockbuster films, but you need blockbuster money. And you I learned this in school, in film school, where it's like, think when you come up with an idea, think story in a bottle, and you have to someone think. And I often say this too, a lot of creatives don't have any business acumen because it's like you creating something, but you don't know how to sell it.
Yeah.
So
Team is important in this whole industry, and that's what I've proven over the last 20 years, because that's what I needed. I needed the team. I had the ability to act and write and direct, but that marketing,
Right.
that whole business and, making sure that the finances, and don't spend too much on this. I made some mistakes early in the game, very early. What I did was I paid for elaborate sets,
Right. Thinking
So-
more creatively than financially.
Yes,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I don't regret it, because it did give us an opportunity to show what was out there and what we could do, and that made people expect a certain level.
Right.
So when we did a play, they know they weren't coming to see a Christmas play where it's a Christmas dinner and you got 4 iron chairs with a table with no tablecloth.
Right. Maybe a Christmas tree.
Right, and people doing like this, playing like they eat.
Ooh.
Right.
Yummy.
Right. So that gave persons they looked forward to what's it gonna look like this
Yeah.
time. We had a plane and all, man. We had the fuselage of a plane.
Wow.
Shouts out to Red Eye McSweeney. We call him Terrence Red Eye McSweeney, one of the best set builders that I know. I remember one year we had a play called Whirlwind Weekend. I mean, the flats were 12 feet tall, because we were staging it at the Rainforest Theater. That's
Okay.
a big stage to fill.
Yeah.
So we couldn't go with our regular 8 feet flats. So we went 12 feet. It was just elaborate, really
Wow.
nice.
Wow.
And guess what? Just so you know, you mentioned Tyler Perry. When I was in school, my first production that I saw was Woman Thou Would Loose, written by T.D. Jakes and Tyler Perry. And that is what inspired me. I always wanted to do it, but when I saw it, mic's right here, the top of the head. That's why I always wear my mic here now as Daisy. Whenever I'm doing a stage play, I put that under the wig and rest that right there. You know why, right?
Yeah, because you can hear. Yeah, because like when you project into the audience, the sound waves from your mic, and then you don't have to wrestle with the clothes.
Rustle with the clothes, and also a lot of people make the mistake. They put the mic here, and then
Yeah.
they start, the sound goes.
Yeah.
When it's here, don't matter where I put my head,
Yeah, your mouth is connected.
and my sound is consistent.
Right.
Yeah.
But
When you have a bald head, I don't know what you do.
But on that note, we got to take a quick short break and come right back with more on Erryting Kool.
Erryting Kool.
Hi, this is your favorite zaddy, Lord Jalen Willard from Erryting Kool, and this episode is sponsored by.
So this episode is brought to you by Marco's Pizza. Hello, Primo. Every store, every day, the Italian way. Right on here on Erryting Kool. Now, they have special vegetarian options. I brought the pizza, so just delicious.
We need not forget the Bahamian phrase, word or saying of the day. I'm not sure if we got so swept up in the conversation you forgot.
I did.
So we can't start the rest of the conversation until we
Without
get,
that.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
give me a minute.
We'll put the Jeopardy sound in the background.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun,
Hidden phrase,
dun,
word of
dun,
the
dun,
day.
dun, dun, dun.
Something from your childhood that was so monumental for you. You almost say it every day, or it have a lot of meaning for you. I don't know if I make that a little bit more difficult.
You did.
Because we got one from Travolta, and I think it was like a Luther specific.
No,
You remember?
Travolta is from Bimini.
Bimini. It was
Yeah.
Bimini
Give me some
specific.
examples of some what came through, man.
Okay, the last one we got was
Oh,
Juk.
we ready to record?
Yeah, the last
right.
one we got was Juk.
Chuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chuck.
Then we got Kapunka.
No, we can do phrases.
We got
or anything.
Kamoli. We got Bay, Motto, Kazoo.
Cause who?
Because who?
Yeah.
We already got mottos. Mother
Kapunkalap
sick.
was my own, man.
Right.
I got a whole show called Kapunkalap.
Right, but he took that one, so you gotta look at him.
How you could take Kapunkalap though?
Oh, which episode he was said that on?
That was a while ago.
Yeah, I think Yeah, I remember making.
That was months ago.
Yeah, because I remember I spelled it out, and he was like, "Bro, you spelled it wrong," and I was like,
Hi.
Jade.
Erryting Kool.
Yeah, because how do you spell Kapunkaluk?
K. How do I spell it? KAPUNKLE.
Yeah, UP, right?
Yeah.
Because he spell it. I don't know how you spell it.
I spelled Kapun, like, you know, trying to sound it.
That was hilarious. So I was like,
Y'all
bro.
get jack up yet?
No, we ain't get jack up.
No.
So what jack up means?
Jack up mean you jack up. That mean whack.
Ain't nothing happening.
Jack up, man. She jacked that thing right up. Or if say you go to the barber,
Right.
you jack your head right up, man.
Yeah.
Butcher it. Jack up.
Oh man.
That's what comes to mind. I don't know. Something else will come.
Yeah, don't worry about that, but that's the one we have in case you don't get another one.
Okay.
All right. So we're back after. So we're back after another, a break. It's always interesting on the breaks.
Thanks for the food. That was good.
All right. Actually, if you retract the commercial, we gonna insert like if y'all. I hope y'all like the commercial. I ain't gonna say it on there, but
Yeah. Very well
we
produced.
could probably shoot that after the show, PG. But now we're back. So we're about to get into Terez's whole rebrand. The departure after the ride of the 2000s into the 2010s. I felt like you started to do a little rebrand. You started to put Terez Davis more to the front than Dynamite Daisy. Did you go through a period where everybody, people stopped calling you Terez and it was like, oh, that's Dynamite, that's Dynamite, that's
Yep. For a long time. And still now, some people do not know my name. So they just call me Miss Daisy. So they say, hey, Miss Daisy. They don't know my name is Terez. So, but I got used to it. What do? You just answer because you know that they calling you. So
Right.
you just answer. But you are correct. It was in 2015 that I decided to retire the character, Miss Daisy. And she was retired for 2 years and about 7 months. Why did I do that? Many people asked. And my husband came home from work and he was like, these people think I make you put that down.
Oh, so they blaming him for the fall of Dynamite
They
Daisy.
blamed him.
But
They blamed
didn't you
him.
get married around this time too?
I got married in 2013.
Okay.
So I got married 2013, and then 2 years later, I
Okay.
retired her. But I retired her because I felt that there was other things that I needed to do, that I wanted to do, and that I felt that God had for me to do. And I felt like if I continue with her, those other things wouldn't get done for lack, so I
That's fine.
won't go into the whole story. But I found out quickly enough that she wasn't done and that I needed to bring her back. And so when I retired her, there were some people who was like, oh, that ain't gonna last. And I got offended because I was
Right.
like, what you
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
This is what I wanted. No, that ain't gonna.
That's a decision I made for myself.
Right.
You're telling me I wrong?
Right, that, you understand?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, we can see you'll be back soon. And sure enough,
They ended up being right.
they were right and I was wrong. But I'm happy for the time that I had off, the short time. I needed a little break, and I thought it was not going to be that short break. I thought I would come back years later to do a movie. And that's really what I'm
mean,
still
that's
looking
still
for.
possible.
I'm still looking forward to doing it. So I'm back. I'm doing more TV, more commercials and that kind of thing now with Daisy.
Yeah, like what sort of
Because even what's going on.
the influencer age was we in the influencer age where you have the Sawyer Boys, the Dash Quiz, the King Clouds, the Taps, all of these new Bahamian influencers.
Right.
So it's now you don't gotta do a play. I could do a short skit and put it on Instagram.
Definitely. And then I've been doing some PSAs as well, public service announcements.
Didn't Miss Daisy have like a TV show, a Facebook show on ZNS?
Yes, it was called Blowing Up with Dynamite. So it was a 13-week episode, 13-week series, 13 episodes. Yeah, and really what it was the stage plays cut up into episodes. So it was not made for TV. We fixed it for condensed it
But I
for TV.
think I saw a skit when you was actually, I don't know if that was commercial, but I thought it was a show, and so I was like, okay.
Recently,
No, it was like probably like 5 years ago. Like,
Okay,
Probably like
that sounds like the Blowing Up with Dynamite that was
Okay.
on ZNS. And then recently this year with all the COVID, they asked me if we could work something out for them to replay it, and they did. Yeah, but my
Okay.
most recent, the National Youth Awards, we made history in that both Terez and Miss Daisy
Yeah, I
were
saw
on
that.
Got
this-
recognized at the same time.
Not
No, they was
recognized.
on the stage.
We hosted together.
Oh wow! So how did that?
That was wonderful. That was recorded at ILTV Studios, and the guys there, they did a fantastic job.
Okay.
Fincastle Media Group, and those guys, they were great. So they had the split screen. So I recorded on I think the Tuesday I recorded Daisy and all of her lines, and then I came back the next day and full makeup as Terez and recorded her
Right.
lines. So I was actually looking and. As if she was there. Of course she wasn't.
Right.
But I could hear her in my monitor
Yes, ma'am.
so that I could respond to her. That was really cool.
So with that, how many similarities would you say you and Daisy share?
None.
None. So y'all complete polar
I
opposites.
believe so.
Wow.
I believe so.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr.
I
Hyde.
believe we are totally different.
Right.
It's things that she would say I wouldn't say. And I am just because we're doing this camera or this recording, I have to be like this.
Yes, ma'am.
But
No, you don't have to be like that. You could be high. No, for real.
no, but if I'm just quiet and
Right.
it wouldn't be the
Okay.
same interview.
Oh, so you saying you
I
more
would
recluse.
prefer. Yes.
Because I was gonna say, fam, this is the most tame you would ever see me on an episode. Normally, I just be jumping from the roof. And
Wow.
Yeah, he would be much louder.
Much louder than
Much
that.
louder.
So I have him calm.
Yeah, I'd have to turn down your headphones or turn down the mic.
something.
Or, I run out with it in a costume and throw it pop.
Are you serious?
Or try to hit you with a Guinness bottle.
No. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
but that's always amazing. So, how did you get your start at the Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture?
Okay, so when I came home 20 years ago,
Uh,
I applied to the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture because where am I going to work, LeBron, with a degree, where am I going to work with a degree in theater? So yeah, I applied at the ministry so that I could work in either youth or culture, but I was not hired. And so that is when I worked temporarily. I worked at my church as the youth director for about 8 months. But Daisy had just started and was taking off. And after 8 months, I had to resign because I realized I was going to have to be traveling so much. So I was going to every family island. I've been to all many times except Megwana and Crooked Island and Auckland's. They're the three that I've not been to. But I was moving so much that I had to go. And then after 12 years of going between the Bahamas and out of the country as well, I met this handsome guy like you. And, he wanted us to settle down and get married. So I decided to get a 9-to-5, just for stability. Because as an actress, as a director, producer, and as persons like yourself, you know that the industry goes up and down. Sometimes you may make a lot of money, sometimes you make no money.
Right.
And just for consistency's sake, I applied to the ministry again, and this time got hired in 2012.
okay, let me ask you a quick question, right?
Thank you.
So you was Dynamite Daisy was taking care of your living expenses for the entire decade?
It was, but I'm grateful that I was living at home. So let's make that disclaimer right there.
All right.
I was still under my parents' roof, so I
Right.
didn't have to pay rent. I wasn't paying light, water, etc.
Oh, you was living a good life.
Right. You had a good level of support.
I had yes. So I honestly I wouldn't say to someone who's just trying to start off, oh, quit your job just because you did one show. Quit your job. No.
Especially if you're supporting yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. I wouldn't say that because it becomes very tedious and it fluctuates.
All right. So cool. So 2012.
Yeah. Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. Shouts out.
So how has your journey been? Because by that time I was already out the country. I was gone for 5 years, coming back in 2017.
Right.
So when I came back, the whole creative industry was different.
Yeah.
than when I left, it it had advanced at a quick pace, and it was like, all right, people start to finally get it. So like, what was some of the major campaigns working on at the Youth Sports and Culture Division? And obviously now your new role is.
Well, I'm a cultural affairs officer, and
Okay.
I'm back with culture. But when I first came in, I was with culture, but the bulk of my work, I would say the most impactful part, or I would say the most exciting part of my work happened when I transferred into the youth division, because it was there that the program Youth Development Through the Arts, YDTA, was able to flourish. It started in the culture department, but like I said, when I went down into the youth department, I was allowed to concentrate on that and that alone. And from that, we produced stage plays. So I was already used to doing my own stage plays, but this time I was strictly the writer and producer and director. And I enjoyed that immensely. And from that, we traveled to Freeport, and I'm so happy that there are a couple students who are now abroad studying theater or some aspect of the fine arts.
So with that, how do you feel like, theater and film and overall, well, more so the theater and film side has developed over since you coming into the youth ministry, youth sports and culture to now, like, this 8 year, I wouldn't say gap, but this 8 year stretch, how you seen like where it started from, like, overall, not just what you had direct influence with, but
Right.
just everything here in the Bahamas.
I'm happy that you said not just where I had direct influence, because I didn't have direct influence with the film industry, and I have seen it, I believe, mushroom. I've seen some beautiful documentaries. I've seen some, just amazing music videos from, our people. And so the film industry, I believe, has moved, and I'm excited about that. And I've never seen so many plays. There's a lot of new plays that's been coming up. People have been utilizing the Dundas. They've been utilizing St. John's Hall, utilizing just sometimes wherever they can, put a play or stage a play. So I think a lot more persons have decided to, I'm gonna go at this. Even if this is not for my career, I'm gonna go at this because this is what I love and this is my passion, and I'm gonna try. So again, with the Youth Development Through the Arts, that's just a small segment with high school students and college students that we worked with for the last 8 years. It's not been for the last 2 years, it's not been as thriving as it was, but I'm hoping that we're going to be able to revive it again.
Yeah, because I feel like, back when, because, I've, over a period of time, been in a few stage plays myself as a toddler. But I feel like, by the time I got into high school, like a lot of the high school stuff having plays.
Right.
Or whatever. And that's, I think that killed that industry because you learn how to sort of developmental process.
Right.
Work, sort of curate talent. So by the time you get to 17, 18, you can go abroad, study, and then,
Queen's College has always been known for their theater program. Guys and Dolls,
Yeah.
and Hairspray, and Kingsway, again, was known. Is not known now for it.
Yeah, but they stopped it so from when I was in school.
Right. But I believe Queen's College, they still do it. They still do it. St. Andrews still does it as well. And then you have pockets of it at various government schools. But it should be, in my opinion, something that is on a higher level and a more consistent level. One time ago, everybody knew government high school to be the fine arts school. They still have a wonderful band, but they were known for dance. They were known for theater. They were known for music. So we do not have. Like I say, we have pockets. We have your BAM, Bahamas Artist Movement, and they have little BAMs. You have persons like the Dundas and Track Road Theater and Ring Play Theater that try to bring in young talent and young people. You have my company, Dynamite Productions. We do the same thing. So there are persons who are trying to get that next generation to come up and to really take the mantle, because you're not here forever. We are not here forever.
Yo, we need me, Mark, and PG need roles on your next stage production.
Yeah, man.
That would be amazing.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I haven't actually been a part of, in front of the camera, I should say, been a part of a production, like anything you put on.
Right.
So
You'd like to do that?
Yeah, that'd be a cool experience.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds
So
good.
don't forget about us.
Okay, I won't. Now this year is different because
Obviously,
Yeah, COVID restrictions.
We won't have a stage play. We had a play last year,
Wow.
and we're thinking of airing that because that's not to DVD yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I have another female friend as well. That's an aspiring actress.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she's really interested in getting into plays and
Wonderful.
and all the like. So
Wonderful. It's
Yes,
a
ma'am.
lot of people, a lot of Bahamians
Right.
who want to do it. And more and more people are headed off. Y'all know Malika?
Malika.
Anybody knows Malika?
What's her
What's
full
her last
name?
name?
I forget Malika's last name. She actually has something coming on, a one-woman show she's going to do on Sunday.
Okay.
Virtually.
Malika.
Malika, sorry.
Yeah, Malika
sorry,
Pinda.
Malika. Malika, I called her Malika. That's because I like her so much. She's good.
Right.
yeah, she's doing it because she's trying to get to Hollywood
Yes.
and doing a whole like,
who is this?
Malika Pinda.
Yes.
She's doing like a one-woman show, like streaming it.
Yes.
So she's trying to generate some money to go to school to study theater
Yep.
and acting in Hollywood.
Do you know Val? Val Roll? She's with, Janico Pratt.
I
He's
think
a-
I know
Janico,
Valro.
Boss, Broke Bosses.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's been on many of their episodes. She's now away in school, I think Vancouver.
Yeah.
So we got some young Bahamians studying this thing.
Not only we have
Timac Sanders.
Yeah, we also have Bahamians that already broke through
Yes.
on like major TV shows already. And,
Yes.
like we spoke about that on the episode when me and Travolta sat down and had a conversation.
Great.
So,
I think we need to highlight them even more on
yeah, because I know me personally, like, and this has been like I have had these conversations behind closed doors, but I always say when it comes to having these sort of organizations or groups to highlight these people, and you trying to get people on the ground to come together, it's almost redundant to where it's like, why would I need to join this if I already know everybody?
right.
And I message them frequently.
Right.
And not just everybody here, but whoever, in Orlando, Florida, or
Yeah.
in Atlanta, or in
Yeah.
Hollywood, or already in New York.
Yeah.
I get the contacts or whatever. So, I think that's what we sort of use our platform for, to highlight these things. Because I bet you a lot of people who gonna watch this never know who Dynamite Daisy is
Yes,
and
her connections.
her
and-
connections to everything is. So it's like, I think bringing awareness to who exists in the universe, and because a lot of Bahamians feel disconnected,
Right.
and it's just we got to just reconnect,
Agreed.
reconnect back. So and it's always it's opportunity everywhere. So I was on the call when COB had this like seminar. I'm not sure if he's Bahamian, but it was a guy. He went to Japan and established the first black anime studio, and you have a lot of Bahamian comic book artists and things like that. But they transverse because they're the musicians too.
Right.
They're the artists too. So it's like, like we always say, a lot of people wear a lot of hats in the creative industry and they bounce from different pockets. So, highlighting them and bringing them to the forefront to be like, yo, this could be this or this could be that, or you could connect with this person. And this sort of drums up another question I have. Do you think the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture or primarily that ministry could do a better job in highlighting Bahamians worldwide, both locally here and internationally, when it comes to the arts?
Yes, most definitely. We can do a better job, and we're looking into that because one of the ways to move forward is to check yourself and see what you're doing, and analyze and evaluate and say, hey, there are more pockets that we could be reaching, and there's a greater reach or a farther reach that we should have. So you are correct, and the director of culture. Shouts out to her. She is quite aware of that and has a lot of international connections with Bahamians who are doing, fantastic things. And that is her desire to make sure that we are highlighting what everybody is doing. And to bring awareness, but also to even like during National Cultural Heritage Month, our desire is to highlight things Bahamian and to give honor where honor is due. So it is more that we could be doing for sure.
All right. So now
You see how I answered that without getting fired?
Yes. Very diplomatically.
You said it right.
Yes, ma'am.
I threw a curve.
That's okay, but I hit it.
Yeah.
Softball.
Out the park. We couldn't even catch that one.
Hey, softball.
But okay, so you transitioned to now an author and motivational speaker because you brought your book
I brought my book.
Hey.
Show you. So
underneath the makeup.
yes, it's called Underneath the Makeup, A Journey from Despair to Hope. Let me say that in my radio voice. Underneath the makeup, a journey from despair to hope.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is my book. And I don't know, you have asked me a question on my book. How did I
Like what
get into it?
what say makes you say let me release a book now?
Okay.
Instead
Well,
of, like,
years
probably
ago.
at your peak or even during that time when you were retired.
right. Well, I've been trying to write this book for a long time, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I knew that I needed to write, and I wanted to write. I didn't know exactly that I would put my two faces on the book, but I decided to because, like you say, a lot of persons know Miss Daisy, but they don't know Terez. And so I wanted to utilize her to get the attention of persons to say,
Right.
oh, I know Miss Daisy, but okay, so what
Who's
is
this lady?
Who's this lady and what's this about? But it's just to show, it's my story, honestly speaking. It's just my journey from a child. Some of the things that you've asked me today right in the
Right.
book.
It's promo for your book.
Yeah. Some of the things. And so I released it September the 28th, I think. I went live on Facebook and I released it as Miss Daisy. Miss Daisy did the opening act. And then I went and changed and then sat on a couch, something like this.
As yourself.
As myself. And I was interviewed. And it's been going really well so far. But it's the backstory, eh? You see people and you don't know what makes them do what they do. You don't know what happened to them. You don't know why. And so this is the why behind the who. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the who, Miss Daisy. This is the why behind it. The who,
Right.
Terez. This is the why.
Yeah.
And so I go through all the, I tell the good, the bad, the ugly.
And then you break the misconceptions because a lot of people often think, oh, this woman must see, like, that's probably her crazy side that she's showing
Yeah,
everybody.
she's just using that as an outlet or
Right.
something like
That's
that.
what they call alter ego.
Right.
Not knowing that you methodically made this character.
Right.
Or it happened by chance.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
like I told you before, it wasn't something that I sat down and said, I'm going to create a character named Dynamite Daisy.
Yeah,
That's not how
an
it happened.
intoxicated character,
Right.
very eccentric,
No.
and allow that to be what I'm known for.
Right,
Yeah.
never. That was not the plan. I actually did not want to do comedy. I didn't study comedy. What I studied and what I was disciplined in was serious acting, dramatic acting. And that's why those other characters, they are all very dramatic. Daisy's dramatic in a different way, but all of those other characters are heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching, tear-jerking, dramatic. And that's what I always was drawn to. So to be a comedian is totally different and and this is why too, I am not ashamed to give God all the glory because I know it is not something that I did.
Right.
Neither was it something that I popularized. You know what I say, Handsome?
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't, let's market it like this and let's do this and let's do that. That's not what happened. We didn't call people and say, can Daisy come to you? We didn't call. They called. They saw her in the one-woman show and then they started calling to the point where I had to let go of what I was doing to facilitate it.
Yeah, focus more energy
because I
into it.
had to travel. I had to go to Exuma. And then I was called I got to go to Andros next week. You know what I mean? And then at one point I was in Detroit and then North Carolina and been as far as Canada and all the way to India. You understand? So
Wow,
this,
it's a calling for Dynamite Daisy in India.
well, let me me make that politically correct.
Okay.
I didn't go to India for Dynamite Daisy. I went to India with missions and with my pastor bishop.
Okay.
And but while I was there, I did some acting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
still
they
great,
didn't know it
though.
was Daisy. Canada called for Daisy specifically.
Yes, ma'am.
So you could imagine me on a New Year's night in a room
Snow.
with all the snow
Yeah.
and a room full of Caucasians looking at me, and I'm Daisy, and they're looking like,
What's this about?
but they got it after a while.
Right.
Yeah, they got it after a while.
Yeah, actually, a fun. Remember, you started. We discussed that you got into being a motivational speaker as well. Mm-hmm. And I just remembered you emceed my aunt's Daisy's wedding
Yes,
in 2007.
Your aunt name is Daisy?
Yeah.
Yes, she's the original Dundalk.
Right.
Yeah, his aunt is Daisy, and she is so supportive. I love her. Shouts out to Daisy. Daisy and the whole crew. She usually brings like a whole couple rows of people when she comes to the shows.
Yeah, so much love and support.
Much love and support. I want to take this time to say thank you. Look in the camera. Look in the
Yeah,
camera.
this is the main camera right
Hey,
there.
thank you, Bahamas. Thank you for just being so supportive. Thank you, everybody, for coming to the shows, and appreciate y'all very much. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
But I like motivational speaking. I like speaking at graduations, etc. And I love to do weddings. Yeah.
Was I like, because oftentimes when I was told that you was actually how can I say this? When I was told you was gonna be the MC, I thought you was gonna be in Dynamite Daisy.
I've done it as Daisy before, but
Okay.
that's difficult.
Yeah.
I've emceed weddings as Daisy, but
Is it tiring?
if it's tiring, do you have a beard on your face? Are you a male? Yes, it's
Yeah.
very
I have
tiring.
to say yes.
Oh,
It's right. It's exhausting actually to be Daisy, because I don't only have to physically be Daisy, but I have to emotionally and mentally be Daisy.
And like you said, it's almost not almost, it's the actual complete opposite of
Yes. So it takes a lot. It takes. After I'm finished, I am tired.
Right.
Literally tired.
I can tell. I see, because I was
Literally
like, okay.
tired. Exhausted.
Because, but I feel like we done broke all even preconceived notions I had, because I was like, oh, you probably do Daisy because you low-key are a comedian or something, or want to be a comedian.
I don't do, well, mind you, as Terez,
Yeah.
it's hard for me to be a comedian right here with you all. But if this was a wedding reception, I put on the hat and I could do that.
We putting too much pressure on you right now. I'm sorry.
They use
Right.
lights.
Right.
Oh, man.
But I wouldn't want to just be a stand-up comedian without the makeup. I'd rather.
No, but you could probably do it with Daisy, and someone like you have a writer be like, okay, we gonna work on these jokes, and then you know,
That's true too.
Bahamianize it.
Bahamianizing, and okay, you got just the setup. And
You
then
sound like you want to write some jokes for me.
I mean, we can write a lot of things, because you were saying you need one in a movie or a show. I'm like,
Yeah, we can
I got
have
a
a
couple
dry
ideas.
erase board right here and
Just go for it.
just
Yeah.
go to work.
yeah, or even replicate that duplication of you and Miss Daisy being in the same room.
Yeah.
In these same chairs.
Talking each other.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh man. But Terez, I would like to thank you again for coming on Erryting Kool.
Erryting Kool.
Erryting
Yeah,
Kool.
it was cool.
It was cool.
And this went by like smart quick. I feel like people are gonna get, fully understand like your methodology behind what you do and why you do it. And having God at the center of it all.
Yeah.
And for everybody out there, grab this new book.
It's on Amazon too.
It's on Amazon. Underneath the Makeup, A Journey from Despair. Hold on. I know if we can refocus right quick. Nope. No, that don't work. Nah, I ain't think it work. We can just have to do a cutaway. I think PG got a shot at it. So
They could check me on my webpage. More information there too. www.terezdavis-nixon.com.
Exactly. So, actually, all our information will be in the bio below.
Good stuff.
Like and subscribe everything. This is another episode for the books.
Like
we have
and
another
subscribe.
legend. We only do the legends here.
Uh-oh.
We only do the legends here. Oh, look at the camera. Point this camera at me right here. We only do the legends here. because you got to sit with the legends.
Right. If you ever been on this show, you an icon.
You're an icon. And thank you for coming again.
Thank you for having me. It's been really fun with the three of you guys, gents.
Yes, ma'am.
And I appreciate what y'all doing, and y'all keep on doing good stuff, eh?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right.
We appreciate that.
No problem at all.
We can link. Yeah, you see.